Hey guys, welcome back for another video. Today we're taking a look at a new budget action cam, which on paper at least has quite a bit of exciting features going for it. We also have a motorcycle accessory kit we'll be taking a look at from the same company. It's called ID221. The model is Action C5 Pro. I don't know anything about them. This is my first experience with the unit. We also have a micro SD card and USB card reader for it, plus some various RAM mount type accessories here, and we'll be seeing what's in the package. Now this is meant to install right onto the side of your helmet. So I'm going to be doing that, and this I'm assuming is going to have some stuff for mounting it to the bike, but we'll take a look. It's all brand new to me. So what we have on the package real quick, we have a Sony sensor, Wi-Fi connection. I assume that's for directly downloading footage and maybe doing a firmware update. It has image stabilization. That is huge, especially for anything on your helmet. You definitely want some kind of digital image stabilization, and this does have that. We've got 4K recording at 30 FPS. This is a budget camera, so you're not getting super high frame rates or 8K or anything like that. We've got 9 hours of reported recording time. That is huge, absolutely huge. The best action cams out there, you're getting 2 hours if you maximize your settings. 9 hours at 4K, 30 FPS, that's just huge. We also have wide dynamic range. Note, they don't say high dynamic range, so it's not technically HDR, but it's probably better than regular SDR. Automatic loop recording, that's if you want to use it kind of as a dash cam. It'll just overwrite the first video and just keep going in loops. Or you can, of course, use it as an action cam. It does charge while recording if the 9 hours isn't enough for you. And it records in a normal MP4 format. That is huge, because that means you can just stick this card in your editing rig and boom, you're off to the races. No special app to use, no conversions or anything like that. Inside the box, we have an instruction manual. I'll take a look at that real quick, and we should have, downloads for the app. Of course, like anything these days, everything is controlled through the app for settings and updates and all that kind of good stuff. Explanations of the batteries, pretty self-explanatory. Reset, turning on and off, start, stop, pause, automatic start recording with on. Probably have multiple languages. Got a diagram of what's included. Suggestions on how to mount it. Now they market this towards pretty much anything that moves. Scooters, bicycles, your helmet, your motorcycle, whatever. So they're going to give lots of suggestions here on how to mount things. We do have sticky mounts for the helmet and probably some tools in the bag. Standard specs and explanations of the app. That's it. These things are really simple. If you've used anything, you're going to be familiar with just about any action cam out today. If you're brand new, they're really intuitive. So we've got our screen protection film. We'll take that off. First impressions, it's metal. Is it? No, that's plastic. Wow, that feels like metal. That is extremely rigid, but it's light. Didn't expect that. I believe it's just an internal battery. This should just be the card slot. Yep. So there's our charge connection, USB-C, and our slot for the card. And then these spring pins here. I would imagine that's just indicating if the cover is on or off, because there's nothing to connect to, unless there's something I'm missing, but I think that's it. Nothing on this cover. It's just a probably gasketed, yep, slightly lipped gasketed. Oh, it is. Oh, that's cool. It's magnetic. Interesting. Let me pop that off again. I thought it latched. How did I take that off? Oh, I was thinking this was a spring. No, it's an actual flip lock connection. But the magnet is so strong, that's not ever coming off on its own. Let me tell you what, that is a really strong magnetic pull. Nice. I guess that just locks it down in place for good measure. All right, not complaining about that. But yeah, I don't know what those pins would be doing other than indicating the cover's closed. Anyway, down to lock. Got some screw connections on the bottom here. We should have some kind of pivot mount. Anything move on the front? Nope. Rubberized, very nice feeling tactile buttons. You're not going to accidentally press these down. They do take a good bit of force. Oh, There we go. So it does have a charge. I'll of course fully charge it and update the firmware and all that before I do any kind of, yeah, it's beeping at me like low battery, low battery. I know, buddy, don't worry, we'll fix you up. I imagine hold down to turn off. I don't know what I did. Now it's mad at me. There we go. Got a Wi-Fi indicator there. I would imagine that that does drain the battery a bit if it's on. So there's a button there to dedicated turn it off. That just looks like some kind of rest. All right, that's it for the camera. I mean, it is as simple as it gets. But yeah, this is going to mount to the side of the helmet. It is about the same weight as a comm unit. Certainly a little bit less weight in the hand here than the Cena 60S that I recently reviewed. So that's not going to add too much weight to your helmet. Are you going to notice it if it's the only thing on your helmet? Yeah, but you're definitely going to get used to it. Trust me, as someone who has ridden with a chin mount camera for a decade now, you don't notice this kind of stuff. If you do it with any kind of regularity, it's just not an issue. I know some people have commented that that's a big issue for them, and I can understand that if you're not doing regular videos and you're just thinking about it or you've never experienced it, it might be a little off-putting. In here we have the USB charge cable and an Allen wrench, couple probably set screws. I wouldn't imagine those are going to be mounting screws for anything. They're a little tiny. And then we have some brackets of some sort, 90-degree brackets, probably GoPro-like. Yep, and there's our screw mount. And we have a semi-permanent sticky mount. And we have the one I'll be using for the review, the clip mount. I love that they include that as well. And this is actually just like the super budget comms units that you'll find on Amazon or AliExpress or, God, the horrible ads that are just all over social media right now for the super cheap 5 million RGB, $20 dual pack, get it now. Don't ever bother with that stuff. It's absolute trash. Good tension on the spring though. And it is rubber coated. So as long as you don't slide it and scrape it and damage this coating, should protect your helmet well enough. But definitely if you're going to be keeping this on with any kind of regularity, go with a sticky mount. It's going to be a lot less damage over time to your helmet, but I'll definitely use this for the review. And then let's take a look in the bag here real quick. Should just be handlebar related stuff. And I'm glad that they have the RAM stuff because that's what I have all over my bike. I'm thinking this kind of stuff, even if you are one that already has a really good action cam, like I have the DJI systems, and I don't want to spend another $400 for a second angle. Maybe I want to put this down low on the bike or as a second cam pointing back at me. And you certainly don't need to spend $300-400 per view just to stick on all the same action cams. This is like 130, I think it was, when I saw it on the website. So it's a viable option as long as we get good video quality. And of course, after this, I'll be installing it and we will take it out for day and night video tests. These are GoPro compatible mounts. And then in here, we got a spring mounted cast metal, cast aluminum RAM type mount. You can always use these guys. They come in very handy. I have a huge bin of GoPro and RAM components, so I can do just about anything with projects. And then in here we've got a combination of a RAM ball and GoPro mount, and this probably swivels. Yep. Nope. It's rubber gasketed, but that's just for assembly. So that's fine since you can usually rotate anything in any orientation on the ball. It's odd that they put dimples in it. I've never seen that before. Certainly no need for it. And then obviously this, is this all they give you? Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that this is gasketless. There's no rubber padding in here for this handlebar mount. Do not, under any circumstances, clamp down a metal mount to your handlebars. I don't care if it's a motorcycle, a scooter, a bicycle, or whatever. This will instantly dig into the finish or the metal itself on your bars or whatever you're clamping it down to, especially that it's pretty sharply serrated. So little oversight there. Definitely get yourself a strip of thick rubber. Hopefully you've got another one of these that you can kind of swap in or use the rubber from. That stuff's super cheap. But yeah, that's an oversight there for sure, and it is definitely not in the kit. But I'm not going to be using any kind of bar mount because I don't have bars on my bike, but I do have ram balls everywhere. So, all right, that's that. I'm going to charge this guy up, fire up the app, do a firmware update, and then I'll take you through the app and we'll see what's in it. So unfortunately, I'm here trying to work the app, and I'm running into the most common problem with Chinese manufactured electronics, the software. The software installation and use is straightforward. You install the app, you turn the camera on, you turn on the Wi-Fi, you connect to the camera's Wi-Fi, and then you should use it. Pretty much like a dash cam, you know, that's it. There's nothing special to do. I had to quit and relaunch the app a couple times just to get it to connect to its Wi-Fi. And now I get a camera error, and the camera itself, if you can see that light, is frozen. The Wi-Fi is on, and I can't shut it off. And because you can't remove the battery, at least as far as I can tell, there's a light under there, I can't just pop the battery out. There's a little tiny, that's probably for a manual card eject. I don't know if there's a reset port. I doubt it since it's waterproof. It would be under here if it was. But I might have to just let it run down if I can't get this thing to shut off and reset. Fun, fun. I'll let you know what I find. So good news, that is a reset hole. Paperclip finally shut it off as soon as I stuck it in and hit the button. Let's try turning it back on again. Okay, we got power. I think you have to hold that for a couple seconds. Okay, we got Wi-Fi. It's blinking to tell me that it's on but not connected. I see it in my phone again. Now with some older dash cams, I did have the problem where I had to, in the app settings, turn off use cellular data. It didn't say that though in these instructions. So I'm trying it exactly as the instructions say. It gives a warning that you don't have any internet connection. Well, duh, that's expected. We're directly connected to the camera. All right, so now if we go back to the app, tries to connect. First time, this is exactly what it did, and this just spun forever, and then it locked up. So it doesn't look like, yeah, it got to this screen before too. Just sat here. It doesn't look like it's working, because this should be instant. You shouldn't have any of these screens waiting. So I'm going to try going in the app and turning off use cellular settings. It's a issue with some older technology, software, and Apple. I don't think you have to do that with Android, but again, it should be noted in the instructions if that's the case, but there isn't anything. So let me try that right now. And just going into settings, it already went right back to my house Wi-Fi. So that, again, tells me it's not operating correctly. So here's the toggle in the app settings. We're going to turn off cellular data and try again. So nothing's showing up here. I'm going to, again, reboot the camera. I'll try turning off the Wi-Fi first, but it's not showing up anymore. Oh, is it locked up again? Son of a... Yep. Locked up again. This time the light is on the power though. But yeah, it's completely toast. One last try and then I'm just going to say screw it. So we hit the button, should see the power come off. Turn it back on. Turn on the Wi-Fi. Now, let's see if we see it show up again and connect. This is the only other thing that I can think of. If it doesn't work, it means something's faulty. Okay, we're connected. Let's try the app again. And there we go. All right, so it is the same old problem with Chinese apps. And they really should have mentioned that. Let me double check to make sure they didn't. Yeah, there's definitely nothing about that in the manual. So that's on them. But I'm glad I knew about the problem and at least knew to check that. So in the app here, it looks like your standard, very basic dash cam generic software. I've seen this same app used in other devices. Should be our settings here. Looks like it was auto recording, kind of like a dash cam. Again, this has features of both an action and a dash cam, so it's going to be a little funny. It's not going to be straightforward for either one of those uses. Here's the toggle if you want the timestamp on your video or not. You can flip the image, I'm assuming vertically, if you want this on the right or left side of your helmet maybe, or maybe on the bars upside down. Not sure. Yes, we want image stabilization. Set failed. Why did stabilization set failed? No, I need that. Anyway, video file length. This is, if you want it to be a dash cam, you need to set a file length. Otherwise, you're just going to have one run-on video. I'm not using it as a dash cam, so again, horrible translation. This is just your basic Chinese app. That's supposed to be off. They said close. No, it closed the app. Oh, you know what? I'm about to throw this thing out the window. I just can't stand piss poor software implementation. This is just almost unusable. And now we're camera error again. You know what? Screw it. At this point, I debate whether I even throw up a video and just politely tell a company, you know what? I'm just going to pass. But I've invested this amount of time and you guys deserve to know to stay away from something. So stay away from this. It's a piece of junk. Hope it helps anyway. Not the kind of video I like, but I don't pull punches. See you next time.